Hey, what's up guys? It's Steven again and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to be discussing top 10, or not really the top 10, just 10 features in general what I would like to see added to Pokemon Go. These features are a whole, they have a lot of different directions they go into, and they're features that would add quality and add extra enjoyment to the game. So I really wanted to make this top 10, or I keep saying top 10, it's just 10 features in general that I would like to see added. We're just gonna go over all 10 of them, and just leave in the comments which one you like. If you have a different opinion on certain things, be sure to give your thoughts on these top 10s or these 10 features. Keep saying top 10, gotta stop saying top 10. This is not a top 10 guys, it's just 10 features in general. We're just gonna list them all in a specific order, not really in terms of my preference. Number 10 is not going to be my least favorite, and number 1 is definitely not going to be my most favorite. At the end of the video I might discuss which ones are my absolute favorites, but these features would all be very welcome if Niantic would ever decide to add them to the game. So with that being said, let's jump into the first feature of this video. So the first feature I want to discuss is being able to get a certain community day move onto a Pokemon after the community day has already taken place. So I'm probably not the only person in the Pokemon Go world that has ever experienced this. You have a certain community day from a certain Pokemon. In this example, in this video, I'm going to be using Venusaur, or the community day for Bulbasaur, which took place last year. As you can see, this is a Venusaur that actually evolved during the community day. He's got the community day move Frenzy Plant, which is only community day exclusive. You cannot get that move onto your Venusaur in a different or on another day. You can't get that move anymore. But for example, I caught this 100% Bulbasaur after the community day, and I've evolved it into a Venusaur. Now, if I would really want to, Venusaur is not that viable in Pokemon Go, but if he was, and Frenzy Plant is obviously the best move, and I really wanted it on Venusaur. It's a shame that I can't really get Frenzy Plant onto Venusaur, so I'm not saying that you should be able to TM it at any given day to Frenzy Plant. I would just want to see them add being able to just TM it on a different community day. Not a shiny Mr. Mime, unfortunately. But being able to TM a certain community day move onto your Pokemon on a different community day doesn't really seem that worse for the game. I mean, I get some people really want their community day Pokemon to be exclusive, to be discontinued. You cannot get that move anywhere else, so the Pokemon is actually worth something. Even in this case, Venusaur not that viable. So you could argue that that is trade fodder for higher up stuff like regionals or something along those lines. You could see those Pokemon being pretty exclusive if you haven't played on that community day. So my suggestion is just give people the option to just be able to TM it on the next month's community day, for example, or just in general any community day, be able to TM previous moves from previous community days onto those Pokemon. It's really frustrating when you have a really good Pokemon. Say for example, you've got yourself a 100% Garchomp at the moment, you just hatched a 100% Gible, and you didn't want to wait for Community Day Gible to be announced like 2020, so you actually evolve it, which is obvious, and they come out with a super exclusive TM or charge move on Community Day for Gible, which in the end is eventually gonna be a Community Day Pokemon Gible. Of course it's gonna be a Community Day, it's just gonna take a while, and they add a super good move onto it, and you are sitting there with your 100% Gibble that you've already evolved into a Garchomp without that move. It's just brutal at times. So my suggestion, being able to TM this community day moves on other community days, or they could just mix it up a little bit and just have it available in the last month of the year when they do the entire year in one weekend, so you can catch all the community day Pokemon from the entire year in that weekend. Maybe just give you the possibility to TM those community day moves in that final weekend of the year. So with that, leave your suggestions on what you think about this, and we're gonna hop into the next feature. So the second feature I want to discuss in this video is PvP related. The problem with PvP, in my opinion, is that you have to be ultra friends or best friends to trade, or not to trade, to PvP, to battle someone from distance, and if you're not ultra or best friends, you need to be close to each other. Now, Pokemon GO or Niantic have really prioritized PvP, in my opinion. They really want to do something with PvP. They've updated it pretty regularly, so I think PvP is going to be a main aspect of this game. I have no doubts that Niantic want to take PvP even further and probably be one of the main features of Pokemon GO. They've updated it countlessly. They've tried to improve it, tried to update it to really get people to play PvP. But there's one thing lacking, in my opinion, to PvP, and that is battles from distance with all sorts of people. So what I think that they should add to PvP is the same system that that Pokemon, not really Niantic because they've got nothing to do with the main series games, but with the cartridges games, you have an online system which you can just randomly play a battle against a certain player from all across the world, and you just battle them. This is what I think Pokemon GO needs to add to the PvP aspect of this game. It would open up so many doors. It would open up online PvP tournaments from distance. It would allow so many things. It would really be a game changer, in my opinion. It would definitely get me to play PvP, because at the moment there's not really anything that really pulls me into PvP. I mean, PvP with friends is nice, but there's not really much activity in terms of PvP in my local community. So I'm not sure what Niantic think goes on. Maybe there are different areas or communities where PvP is really active. You see the Silph Road organizing tournaments which are pretty successful, but that's in certain areas, not really in my area, not even in my country, I think. I'm from Belgium, by the way. I've tried to organize a small PvP tournament in my local community, and there wasn't really that much interest for it. So in my opinion, a certain system like they have on the main series games, you just log into your online account and you just randomly select, I want to battle somebody, and he searches for an opponent all across the world. I know it's a big effort to implement the system, but I would absolutely have no doubts in my mind that if Pokemon GO were to add some system like this, online PvP, without having to be friends or near that person, it would open up so many doors. It would be an absolute game changer. Leave it in the comments what you think about this feature, because this is probably, I told you guys that I was going to tell you at the end of the video, but this is probably top 3 for me in terms of features that I definitely want to see in the game. I really want to get into PvP because I've always been a battler, online battler. I play Showdown on the channel, which are online battles, surprise. So I really want to see PvP making a name for itself in Pokemon GO. So that's feature number 2. Let's get into the third feature. So feature number 3 is again friends related kind of update features. I mean, I've got quite a few updates to the friend system or features that involve the friends system. Let me quickly run over my top 10 there, or my stop saying top 10 please. Leave it in the comments below, stop saying top 10. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 features, 5 out of 10 that deal with friends or involve friendship in some sort of way. But feature number 3 is a short and quick one, is being able to connect or contact friends. This is a feature that would allow people to, it doesn't have to be much, it would allow people to contact each other through the game. You've got so many websites where you can exchange friendship codes with each other. So I've got myself a lot of friends in my list which are not close friends or who I don't know in person. They live across the world. I've got people from the United States to China to Tokyo to New Zealand. So many people, Mexico, whatever, South America or South Africa, sorry. So many people from across the world, and there is not really a way to contact these people. So if you want to level up friendship, most of the times, at least in my community, we meet up or we discuss a certain time, we set a date and a time. That is when we are leveling our friendship. Everybody pops a lucky egg and we increase the friendship and everybody gets the double experience. This is something, of course, that you cannot do with persons that you do not know in real life, that you do not have any sort of information. You cannot contact these people. You don't know these people. So a small lobby or small chat option with friends would help that improve hugely. So that's just a quick short feature, but again, it would be so helpful also just to contact certain people that you might not have a cell phone number of or whatever. Just in general, always being able to contact your friends in game is always helpful. You can't go wrong with that. So let's hop into feature number 4. So the next feature is also related to friendship and actually dives into that contact a bit. Not really a lot, but it would help this feature as well. And that is being able to lucky trade. Of course, if you don't know what lucky friends are, when you reach best friends with a person, you can then keep on increasing, or not really increasing, you can keep your daily friendship active by doing trades, opening gifts, PvP, all that stuff. You can increase your friendship while already being at the maximum level, of course, but you can still have your daily friendship with that person, and you have the possibility to become lucky friends. Lucky friends is a guaranteed lucky trade. When you trade that person, it's one trade and it's guaranteed a lucky Pokemon. So again, with that, what I touched on in the previous feature, I've got a lot of people in my list that I got through websites where people exchange friend codes to increase their friendship, to get gifts from across the world, to get just gifts in general, and eventually you're gonna reach the best friend with these people if you keep playing and they keep playing, of course, but you're eventually gonna have best friends from across the world. Now in this case, I've got this person open. You're gonna see he lives in Taiwan. I've got lucky friends with this guy. He's been in my list for quite a while. Of course, I have no intention of going to Taiwan for a lucky trade. He has no intention to going to Belgium for a lucky trade, so that's off the board. Now, what I would like to see, and this might be a bit controversial, is that you can trade from distance with a lucky friend. Only lucky trades. I'm not saying you can be able to trade from distance with anybody at any given point. I'm just talking about lucky friends and trading from distance. This would, of course, be a bit overpowered if regionals would be involved, because You could get every regional with every person or with different kind of persons from across the world through this route. I'm not saying that they should add regionals, that is a whole different discussion, but this is just about being able to lucky trade from distance. That would definitely be a motivation to increase your friendship level with persons that do not live near you. As you can see, this guy and myself have been friends for a while, and eventually we got lucky friends. It's been a while. I think it's been over 2 months that he's been my lucky friend, and still during the gift sending event that took place earlier this month, we were still sending each other gifts. I would definitely like to use this lucky trade with this lucky friend, but of course at the moment there is no possible way to trade with this guy, and this update would help with that, of course, being able to lucky trade from distance. And that's feature number 4. Let's get into the next one. On to the next feature is to do with raids, in fact. So thumbs up for a raid feature. And that is a signal or a beacon kind of thing to let people know from distance, from seeing a gym or a raid, that you are there and you want to participate in said raid. So for example, you can see this level 5 egg, it's still counting down, of course, so it's difficult to give you an example of that. Of course, it's not in the game, so I can't really show you anything. But my thought process would be some sort of icon that would signal that there is a person at this gym who wants to participate in this raid. This would be so helpful for people who haven't found themselves a community, a local community. I myself played a very long time by myself without knowing that there were so many people playing around me. I never bumped into them. Of course, raids are 45 minutes, so chances are pretty slim that you, or not pretty slim, but it's not that big of a chance that you bump into people who are meeting up for a raid. Because when I meet up with my local community, we are probably there for about 10 minutes and then pretty much everybody is gone already. We move on to another raid, we go home, we go and play, but we don't stick around the gym for 45 minutes to wait and see if there is potentially anybody coming to see if there is a possibility to do that raid. So I myself again experienced this, and I sat at gyms where there were level 5s active. Sometimes I really sat there for 45 minutes hoping that somebody would show up, or that a group of people would show up so we could do that level 5. And this would help people find each other way more easier. If you can see from a distance that there are one or more people waiting for the raid or wanting to do the raid, and you yourself do not have any friends or a community but you participate with raids, then you are definitely going to want to meet up with people that you don't know, because they are looking for help as well. So this would be an icon, or something else I thought of was potentially a pre-lobby where you could open the gym from distance and you would get the lobby screen or the raid screen where you what you see before you enter the lobby. You see that 0 people are in the lobby. But what if we add another lobby or a pre-lobby screen where you can put yourself in, so people from distance know that you are waiting at that gym. So you can potentially list off like this person and this person are at this gym waiting to do this raid and we are looking for help, for example. Or you could just see 5, 6, 7 people in that lobby and you can see from a distance that they are there, and you can go to that gym and ask for the participation of that raid. This would help people so much in terms of finding each other and just helping each other with raids in general. So There is of course a discussion to be held whether or not you need to use your pass to enter this lobby phase so people can see you, because you can sit there for 45 minutes in the lobby, nobody shows up, and you lose your raid pass. That is basically the worst case scenario, of course. So that is a discussion that Niantic need to have by themselves, whether or not you use this pass. There are of course pros and cons. If they make you use your pass and nobody shows up, you lose your raid pass, your free raid pass. Nobody likes losing that. But then again, when you don't have any people that you play with, you're gonna lose that pass anyway, because you're not really guaranteed to lose that pass. You can do a lower leveled raid that you can solo potentially, but you get what I mean. Of course, they could also say you do not have to use your pass to enter this pre-lobby phase, but that would be a bit trolly-ish, or could lead to trolls, people saying that they are there and then just leave the area and not care about people who actually come to the gym because they think people are going to be there. So that's a different discussion that Niantic needs to have if they want to implement these kind of features. So definitely let me guys know what you think about this, or how we could potentially integrate this feature in a better or more suited way for everybody to benefit from. So let's get into the next feature. So feature number 6 again has to do with rating, as the previous one was also about rating. So thumbs up for rating, 2 features for rating. That's all the raid features, these 2 features. I am personally a person who does a lot of raids, so I definitely enjoyed the raiding aspect of the game. These are definitely features that I would see improve raiding. But feature number 6 is probably something you might have thought about yourself or seen on social media. This is definitely a more commonly known feature, and that is a skip lobby feature. What if you don't understand that, that is just a button or something that you can click on in game while you are in the lobby to say that you are ready with your group, and you can straight off the bat, after pressing that button, you can go into the boss fight or the raid itself. This would of course negate the 2 minutes of lobby phase that you have to be waiting in. This would be helpful for raid hour, raid events like 3-hour raiding. This would of course increase the speed and would allow you to do more raids effectively, because you do not have to sit in the lobby every time for 2 minutes while everybody is ready. Of course, there are some different aspects again to this feature. How could they integrate this? Because every person who is in that lobby of course needs to be ready. If you press the button, what happens? Does everybody get chucked in, or do you only go in by yourself and everybody needs to manually press that button? That is something that they would have to be looking at, but in my opinion, everybody should just have to click that button for themselves. But that is something they would have to look at, of course. But my personal preference would be everybody has to click that button manually, because again, this could lead to trolling if one person could just trigger the raid. Everybody in the lobby at that moment gets chucked in, and then that troll, for example, could leave the raid and do the raid with his friends, and you are basically in that raid by yourself. So that's something of course we want to avoid with updates. We don't want these kind of things getting into the game, and at the moment it's not really in the game. Of course you can leave a raid and leave somebody in a raid by himself, but yeah, there's not really much way around that, because that's just the way the game functions at this time. So skip lobby function was feature number 6. Let's get into feature number 7. So the next feature is also a very quality of life kind of update, and that is a revive/potion all Pokemon at the same time. As you can see on the screenshot, I've got 7 dead or fainted Pokemon, and a feature that would allow you to just revive all 7 at the same time or potion all 7 at the same time would be really helpful and would definitely speed up the process of reviving and potioning Pokemon, because most people, of course, again, this ties into rating and time. This would save you time because it would allow you to just revive or even max revive all your Pokemon at the same time instead of manually doing every single Pokemon separately. In my region, I'm not sure if it is really something to do with my connection or with my phone or with my location, but sometimes reviving can take quite some time because the game has to load the revive. I'm not sure why, but at times reviving can be really slow and tedious to do. So a revive / potion all feature would be so much appreciated. Short little feature, little quality of life feature, but it would increase playing and enjoyment so much with just a tiny tweak. That was feature number 7. Let's get into number 8. So number 8 again is back to friendship or the friends system, and that is basically allowing people to have more gifts in their inventory than the current default number, which is 10. We had an event at the start of September, the month of recording this video. It was a friendship based event where you could basically stock up to 20 gifts in your inventory. That is twice the amount than the usual 10. And again, that is such a quality of life kind of thing. With friendship and the friend system really being more prominent in the game, it is so much more useful to have 20 gifts instead of 10 gifts in your inventory at a certain time, max of 20 gifts. I mean, I try to do friendship with as many people in my list as I can do in each day. Basically, as you can see, I've got 61 friends. There are people with 200 friends. I am so aware of that. I've got currently 61. I do keep my list as clean as possible. People who don't actively play, who don't open or send gifts daily, or at least on a couple of days, each in a couple of days, once in a couple of days, sorry, then eventually they'll get scratched off my list. Also people which I reach best friends with who don't send gifts afterwards, I kind of get rid of because they don't really do anything for me anymore. Or people in general who are from a far distance, which I don't really need anymore. I just delete those kind of people because the more people are in the list, the more difficult it gets to get through the entire list, because I have to go through the entire list every single night because I try to do my friendship daily. That is the point of the friendship system, that you increase your friendship as much as possible, which is once each day. So more spaces for gifts. I'm not sure what the downside would be or why Niantic would see this as a negative thing. I mean, 20 gifts is double, but it is still not enough if you consider that you can have 200 people in your friends list. And with friendship again being such a prominent feature nowadays with lucky friends, with the experience you get from it, you just need as many gifts as you can possibly get in a day to send or open from other people or send to other people. So increasing the capacity from 10 to 20 would be so helpful. And again, such a little tiny update that would increase the enjoyment in this particular section of the game, which is the friend system. So that was feature number 8. So on to the feature number 9. This is the last feature that has to do with the friendship system, and that is basically being able or adding a new filter option to find people which you can send gifts to. So at the moment we've got a filter option which filters for gifts, people who send you gifts. But if you reverse the list, it would be so helpful if you could now filter this list to people you can actually send gifts to. Of course, at the moment I can't really show you this because apparently I don't have any gifts in my inventory, but reversing the gift filter and giving you the possibility to filter, or just a new filter in general, to filter for people which you can actually send a gift to, would be of course very improvement of life, an improvement of life, quality of life update. That's the sentence I'm looking for. It is so tedious when you go through your friends list and you have to click on every single person to see if you can actually send a gift to that person or not. It is so annoying. Again, as I said in the previous feature, you've got people with 200 friends, sorry. If they have to select every friend of that 200 to see if they can send a gift to that person, that's gonna take a while. So allowing you to filter for people who actually can receive a gift from you would be such an improvement to the to the friends list, or to the friendship feature in general. So that was feature number 9. Again, very small update, very short explanation, but it would improve gameplay massively. On to the final feature, and that is number 10. So the final feature of this video is going to be able to remove eggs. This is of course a highly requested feature as well on social media and other platforms which have to do with Pokemon Go, is being able to remove eggs. This is something that personally I don't ever see making the game, but I would definitely like to see it added to the game. But that's not necessarily gonna mean that Niantic are interested in giving us the possibility to remove eggs. As you can see in my list, this is basically what my egg list looks like on most days, except for the two 10Ks, because usually I am stuck with 2Ks and 5Ks. I don't get too many 10Ks in general, so I am so happy when I get one. At the moment I've got 2, which is not really something that happens quite a lot. But you get the point. A lot of people like me will be in the same situation where they just keep getting 2Ks and 5Ks, which absolutely have nothing useful in there. You walk 5 kilometers to get, for example, a weasel, which you can just catch in the wild. So being able to remove eggs would definitely remove the aspect of being disappointed with your egg hatches. Or not really, because you can just incubate 9 10Ks and still get 9 Beldums, which you're probably not going to be happy with. But again, going back to Niantic, I'm not sure if they would be interested in giving us this possibility, because this is a bit of a balanced one. On one hand, you can say giving people the opportunity to actually remove an egg will allow people to get the eggs that they actually want to hatch. If you think about it, people who want only 10Ks and get 9 10Ks, are they going to incubate all those 10Ks at once? Probably. I'm not 100% sure, but I would think so, because people want to hatch those 10Ks. So you're probably going to just incubate all of them. So from a business point, Niantic probably want you to buy incubators, buy boxes with incubators, so you can do especially this. You can incubate 9 eggs. That is what Niantic would like to see, because that makes them the most money. But on the other hand, you could also argue that when you are looking for 10Ks and you're only stuck with 5 and 2Ks, there are probably a lot of people who just start incubating these eggs that they don't want to get rid of them, to actually have the possibility to get a 10K. So I'm not sure where the balance of that is. Are people more likely to incubate eggs because they want to get rid of them? Or would they incubate them if they would get the possibility to get 9-10Ks or whatever eggs you are currently wanting to hatch? There are probably people who are looking for a certain shiny that's in a 2K, for example. They don't mind getting 9 2Ks. But others, those persons are probably pretty rare to find, because I'm not sure that there are that many people who want 9 2Ks. But that's besides the point here. Being able to remove eggs, it's definitely a controversial feature, I think, from Niantic and a business perspective. So leave your guys' comments on this feature, on any of the 10 features that I discussed today. And as I said in the start of the episode, I was going to maybe consider listing my favorite feature. I'm gonna quickly have a look at my top 10 because I've got the list open right here. My most favorite feature would probably be, I think the most game-changing for me again would be an online PvP system. So that's definitely a personal favorite of mine. And then probably the beacon or the signal for a raid, that would probably be something I would like to see added to the game, just because you can get into contact with new people. And that is basically what Niantic want for their game. So I'm not sure what their perspective on such a feature would be, but I can't really see any negative or argument against such a feature. It is about bringing people together. That's what they want. They want people to communicate with each other. They want people to integrate with each other. They want people to build a community and play together. That's why they have a friends feature in the game. That's why they introduced it, and that's why they have friendship and the friend feature in general at such a high point in their game. They really want to stress on those friends, because every time we get a new research, they always have add friends, add friends, add friends. That's such a prominent thing. Add 3 new friends, add 2 new friends, whatever. They really are stressing that you are supposed to communicate and supposed to play this game with other people. Now, this has been quite a video, so it's been a long video, so I'm not going to drag it out any longer. So again, leave your guys' comments in the comment section down below what you think about all of these features. Again, if you have a different feature that didn't make this list, definitely leave it in the comments as well, so we can just continue our discussion in the comment section, or potentially I can make a new video with 5 new features that I got from you guys. That would be amazing if they made it into the game. So I'm going to thank you guys for watching this video, and definitely leave a like if you liked this video, and of course a comment about all these features, which I've said countless times in this video, so I'm not going to repeat myself there. And definitely subscribe if you are liking this content on the channel. We try to upload all things Pokemon, and I will continue to do so. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.